We are back. We're ready to teach y'all something else.
Today we're going to be talking to you about how to use magazines and books in your artwork. And we're going to show you some ways that we have done it and some ways that you might want to try doing it at home.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I want to say, and I've got a witness right here, and it's on video. Don't be cutting up books and magazines without asking, right?
Right. Y'all need to ask
Okay.
first.
Always ask permission before you use any of the books and magazines, because the ones that we've used are very old. But first we're going to talk about magazines, and it can be any magazines that you might have at home. And this is I'm going to show you a little exercise that's kind of fun that will just help you with your drawing skills. And it can be anything you want to draw. What you want to look for images in the magazine that are symmetrical, like a face, okay? A symmetrical face. And I have one right here that I've cut her away from the background, so I'd do the best cutting that I could. I'd cut the face right out of the magazine, and then you're gonna take it, and because it's symmetrical, it's the same on both sides, you are going to cut it out. Boop. Right down the middle, okay? And then you would glue it down to a piece of paper, and she's kind of tiny, but you just glue that half down to the piece of paper, and then you would take a pencil and you would try to draw the other half to make her whole again. And you could look at this side of her face for reference. You could also keep this nearby to look at that half as reference. So here is an example of one where it started out with a magazine, and then the other half of her is drawn, and then you can get creative and add other things too, like I put in that big paintbrush and some background color. Okay?
And for my guys, if you don't feel confident yet going and doing a face, find an animal.
Yeah, that's what I got here. So I was gonna say though, try doing faces of all ages. That's good practice.
Mm-hmm.
Young faces.
Young faces are hard to draw.
Faces like this with
I
wrinkles.
love her.
She's beautiful. She is very beautiful. So you could do that, and that's a nice bigger image you could do. And like Donna was saying, animals work too. If you don't like drawing people and you'd rather draw an animal, look for an animal. You could even do like a cake. You could do anything. As long as it's the same on both sides. It could be a butterfly.
And that's symmetry, guys. The same on both sides. Like, think about butterflies, okay? Something that's the same on both sides.
All right, so that's one option. You could
Beetles, jewel beetles are so pretty if you can find images like that.
Look for your magazines. It depends on the type of magazines you have, but I guarantee you can find something in those magazines. Okay, another thing you could do that's kind of fun is to cut out something from a magazine and just cut out part of it and then draw around it. Okay, so like you could cut out, I just cut out that part of her face and her arms and turned her into a mermaid and drew all the rest around her. There's another one in here I did not finish, but something like that, where you're just using part of an image. So you can do that. You can also, in your books, if you want to put words and you don't like your handwriting, you can cut out letters and you can spell out whatever you want. You can do your name, you can do whatever you want, and then draw around it too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's I think that's a few things. Here's another one. It's a little more in depth, but where you can spell out words, and you can put
Is that car
something
magazine?
from a magazine. It's a car, and then add paint around it, and combine images from magazines with your own drawing. Okay. All right, Donna.
Okay, so when I talked to Donna this morning and we talked about this idea, and she said, I've got some magazine ideas. I've got some journaling things she's done with some magazine ideas. I said, well, I'll pull mine together. And what I found really interesting was that I think I've got 3 ways to use magazines, and I was surprised that I use magazines completely different than how Donna uses magazines. What do you have?
I was gonna wait,
Oh.
because I forgot. But I was gonna go
Show.
ahead and show you.
Oh, yes.
Romeo Bearden.
That's what I was about to say, the awesome
Romeo
collage.
Bearden. Yes, and that is what he's known for. And I'm gonna get close, so you can see how he's taken bits of faces from different sources and hands. I love the way he uses the really big hands and added paint and made these incredible collages. So
I like
there's
it.
no wrong way to do this. The way I do it's not right. The way Donna does it isn't the right. There's no right way. Right.
Right. The way that I use magazines, let me see the best way to show you guys this. First of all, I will take a magazine, and I don't know if you can, let's see if you can see this. This is a manila folder, right? But you don't even have to do that. You can do it on just regular paper. I'll take one magazine, and I'll go through, and I'll cut out colors that inspire me, color combinations that inspire me. Images that I enjoy. Like I may want to turn around and draw those cupcakes. That pink shoe, let me show you. Let me do this first. So, look at, I don't know if those are macaroons. I don't know what that is.
They look good.
But they look really good because I think I probably told all of y'all about my sprinkle story. When I was growing up, everything had sprinkles on it. Everything I ate had sprinkles on it. Chocolate sprinkles and rainbow sprinkles. And so I try to make it a point to always have sprinkles in my house. But anyway, so there's, just different little images and colors that I like. Like I'd like to, see that's not symmetrical.
No.
Okay? So that would not be an image that you would use, but I love that image. I cut these out because of the colors. I cut that out because of the pattern. So I will make these, like I may make one for July, August. I make these for the months of the year. So that if I'm ever sitting around and I can't think of what to draw, I have this. I can turn around and I can just pull this out and I can say, you know what, I'm going to draw something out of here. And I'm going to make it the colors, or I'm going to make something the colors out of there. And so I want to show you, and I should have already found this before I went live.
That's pretty.
But there's the shoe. Okay, so this I drew at the ballpark from that shoe, that image that was in there. Also, these are images that I have pulled from my mood boards or my image boards, whatever you want to call them. So that's one way that I use magazines. The other way that I use magazines is, all right, where is here. Oh, and I turned and lost the page again, Donna. Oh, I just found a rain boot in here that I have painted before. Okay, so one of the things that I do is I will take, and see, this is just not it's just a picture, right? I don't know if you can see, but around her face and there at her eye, I have gone over it with just a ballpoint pen. I've gone around all her edges with a ballpoint pen. I do that, and then right after I do that, I will go onto paper and I will try and draw it again, okay? So it's not exactly like this, but sort of what I'm doing is creating that muscle memory, going from this image directly to this image, okay? And then when I go this image, I'll in turn turn around and go to an image like this that I will draw and paint. This is not the same woman as that, but this is an example. This is how this woman came about. I traced her face. I drew around her face. I'm not tracing it, but I drew around her face, and then I went to a piece of paper and I drew it. Since I had just done it, my mind just sort of remembered where it dipped. And the last video we did for you guys, we talked about talking your way through a drawing. I'm still having that conversation inside my head. going from the magazine to the piece of paper and then to the painting that's like this. So that's another way that I use magazines. And then the last way that I use magazines
Oh, we're going to save that one.
is something I won't share with you right now.
For later.
That's why we work so good
We
together.
can't give all our secrets
She's
away at one time.
She's the other part of my brain.
Along with magazines, old books are a wonderful thing to use in art. But again, I have to stress, ask. Don't use your grandmother's first edition Faulkner in your art project. She will not be happy with you. So always ask. And I always have. Every time I do something with books, I have a couple of students who get them.
Yeah, see, I don't get like that.
I don't either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want you to understand the books that I'm using are books that are, look, they're old. They've been read and read and read. I won't show you the name of it. It probably wasn't that great of a book to start with.
I've even pulled books. I've saved books from trash.
Yes.
Where people have just thrown them away.
So we're repurposing them. We're
Mhm.
giving them new life. I would never use a spiritual book or
Never use a Bible.
No, I wouldn't
Never
do
use any of
that.
that.
Mm-mm.
This-
Or a classic. I wouldn't even use a classic.
Mm-mm.
But these are just books, that have just made the rounds and they're not of use to anybody anymore. Now, if you do not have book pages, or if you don't have an old book at home that it's okay for you to do this to, you can take a book and you can put it on your printer and you can,
Copy it.
Copy it.
What do you call it?
Well, no, they scan it or copy it or something.
Yeah. I'm okay. It's
okay.
okay.
You can also hit your friend. No, don't hit your friend with it. But you can do that. Or now I forgot what else. What it was I was going to say.
See, I threw her off.
Or you can print something off, right? I mean, you can just find some text online and print it out on your computer
Right.
and use that. So don't feel like if you don't have a book, you can't do this, because what we're going to do.
Ah!
No, see, we don't have a problem with this. We're actually tearing pages out of the book. We're not going to use the whole book this time. We'll show you how to use the whole book another time. All right, so this is a fun thing that I love to do, and it's called found poetry. And it's where you take a book page and you just look for words that kind of appeal to you. It might just be one word, and then you circle it, and then you draw that image on there. Or it might be a series of words. You might make a poem out of it. Sometimes these are called blackout poetry, and I'm going to show you some examples. Okay, but like this one, y'all know I'm like a big nature person. I love the outdoors. So the title, Night in the Forest, just caught me. The mountains, and I circled the mountains. I went down to the next line. I circled reminds me, and then I went down and I put home. The mountains remind me of home. And then at some point, I plan on drawing a scene in the mountains here, maybe a scene of me backpacking or camping in my tent or something. So you find words that are meaningful to you, and then you draw on top of them. This is a quick one. This is a really quick one that I did earlier today.
I'm not a
It
poet.
does
Mine will
not-
sound like Mad Libs.
This is, okay, I was proud of this one. You're going to like this one.
I like it already.
Okay, listen to this. Okay, found poetry. Okay, it's called Spring. I even found spring on there. Spring. The flowers saw my pleasure, and I could see them imagining things that I had not meant to speak.
Oh, that's really
Deep.
That is very deep, Donna.
I would never have written that poem. That's not in me, but it was on this page, and when I was just looking for words, it came together. Okay, so you circle the words, or you block out the words that you want to keep, and then you make them show up and you draw around them. Now for this one, I was just trying to do it with a pen, right? It'll look better with color. Color will make it show up even more. But that's the way to do that. And I think I have in an old journal, I have a couple of pages where I did it with color, where I found words for the poem and then I colored. You could use the watercolor markers. I mean, I keep calling them that, the markers.
We're
You
going to
could use
call
your-
them fabulous watercolor markers.
You could use your watercolor pencils, whatever you have at home. You could do with that. Was there something else I was going to? Donna's finding a poem. as we're
Strangely
speaking.
enough,
See, you said
I felt unmanageable
there. You go.
there.
And
And then I did a picture of myself down.
And then a lot of times, the way that you're feeling, it's just going to show up. Those are the words you're going to be drawn to. And what did I do with that other image? Was it in this book? Yep, okay. All right, and this is just a simple thing. So you can do that. Oh, no, I'm losing track.
Don't do that. That's my job.
Okay, Pinterest. If you go like to Pinterest or online and you just do found poetry, art, or blackout poetry, you'll see like this is one where they found words and then they just make these cool shapes around it. So you don't necessarily have to draw anything. Okay, that's really just a blackout poem where they blacked out everything but the words. If you want something super duper simple, there's another fun, so it can
So
be.
I think I'm gonna have to do one of these.
Yes, it can be. It can be an image, but it doesn't have to be an image. They're fun. They're really
I think
fun.
I will. I think, like I said, we're setting up that Instagram page where y'all can email us your images. I think Donna and I'll have to do one of all of these we're asking you guys to do so that y'all can see ours and see what we did.
Okay, and this is just another fun thing. I think I was doing this when I was planning a project for a younger class one time. But you can actually cut book pages and no images for this, just text, and put it together and make a simple collage where I've seen this done with animals too. We did that, didn't we, one time?
Yeah, we did.
We did dogs. I think we did dogs at an art camp one time. So you could do an animal where if you look for text that's really close together and you'll get a darker value, and then if they're further apart you'll get a lighter value, and you can come up with a fun image like that. So yeah,
I think that's great.
You know what this is? This is magazines. Yeah, even the cover of this old journal, I cut out words from magazines and painted on top of them. So
All right, that is old. 2012. How many years ago? Don't make me do the math. That's 8 years ago.
Long then.
Whatever. Okay, so how do I use book pages? How do you use book pages, Donna? Okay, so let me think. I will take and tear out book pages, and I will make book pages. A lot of the books that I have, they're really old, and so when you fold them, they like crack because the paper's so old. So I will take and I'll cut strips, and I'll glue several strips together. Like, this is an old school book. Don't be cutting up your school books.
No.
Should I not have said that? This wasn't even our school book. This is from the 70s. But it wasn't mine. Okay? So I will take and I'll glue these pages. I'll glue them all together with a glue stick. And so that makes them really strong. And then I like to make,
That's pretty.
well, let's see.
I like that one.
I like to make one, and these two aren't finished, but I like to make, they're hard now. Can you hear that? That's 3 of the pages glued together, and they're bookmarkers, okay? And so, why does anybody need to make like 1,000 bookmarkers?
You always need a bookmark. Look,
I don't even read that much.
I read all the time, and you will find in my books like ripped little pieces of paper. I need
to give you a
bookmarks. Why don't
bookmarker.
you make me some? Hey, maybe I'll make some.
Okay, so why do I make these? I use these in my journals. I use them like, I may paint that white and I may do a journal entry on that to say something about my day. That's what I use these for. And this right here is not watercolor. That is done from a marker. It's not the same kind of markers as these. It's I think it's those Tombow markers. I know
Some of my
Donna's
kids have used them.
Yeah, and my nature illustration guys, y'all have used them before. But that's what that is. That's a lot more vibrant. But that's what I do with all of these.
Those are fun.
See? Whoops, there's an upside down flower. Okay, so that's one thing I do. I also, okay, so this is all of the bits and pieces on my table, just laying on my table, laying on an art table. I take and I glue them front and back. See, that right there is part of that paper that I tore up for those bookmarks. But I'll glue them front and back, and this is on a cake box, or you could do a cereal box. It's hard but I'll glue them on that. And they're all just glued on with a glue stick. This is not even Mod Podge. I don't even have it on the surface. They're all glued down this way. And then I will take and make gift tags out of them. Can y'all see that? Where I will go through and like y'all could find an image from one of the magazines and you could glue that on the top of there, and then you could write something. I tie a little, whatever I ripped up. I tie that on there, and these are things that I like at Christmas time. I'll put their name on there and I'll give it as a gift. It's just fun. It's just fun. It's just fun. That's what I do. I also draw on the pages. I know I don't have anything in any of my journals that I can,
there you go.
There's one. So I'll draw on them.
I think it makes a nice background. I like the way the text looks.
It makes a very nice
I
background.
like to do that.
And I have an update that I should have included the last for the magazine.
Bonus information.
Bonus scene. Okay.
This is what you get if you watch the whole.
Did I show this?
No, you did not.
I did not. Okay. The magazines. We were talking about the magazines and how I use the magazines, and I guess got flustered. I think because
because we're being filmed.
Because we're being filmed. But I have some more examples of how I use the magazines. Okay, so the first one is this one. She's gone now. Okay, so the first one. This is an old journal. So I've been doing this for a long time.
And we were just talking about that. We have both been doing this for a long time, and y'all should be doing this because it's so
I
cool.
started in the 3rd grade.
It's so cool looking back at things and being able to pull out examples and seeing how we've changed and grown.
Which is another awesome benefit to us having to come together and do this, because this is something I totally forgot about. Okay, so there's that girl. Can you see around her face where I've done just drawing the lines, okay? And so in my journal from eons ago, I had glued an envelope. And I found today she stuffed in the envelope, and there's where I tried to draw her. She looks a little wonky, but that's good practice. That's good stuff.
Do not worry if your stuff looks wonky.
Wonky is awesome.
Yeah.
And so my next wonky, this is a cat. Okay, see the marks on the cat? And from my cat came
I'm a superstar.
Superstar. It's kind of like, where's my super suit? Okay, that's where she came from. Okay, so that's where getting crazy, experimenting, playing with stuff like this.
Have fun.
That's where it leads you. This also has collage on it too, so you can do anything. You're only limited by what you can think of. So that was bonus material.
So go look for old magazines, old books, get permission. And you should have lots of ideas, and send them to us. Send your images that you make to us so we can put it on the page.
And we can share it.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I think I want to say that I really miss y'all. I got to say what a blessing it is every Tuesday and every Thursday that I get to come in and share with you guys, what I love. Y'all appreciate the wackiness. Y'all appreciate, y'all are awesome kids.
We appreciate you.
And we appreciate y'all.
We miss you.
And
Thursday's going to be weird.
Thursday's going to be very weird. So I'm hoping all you guys will be doing some creating on Thursday, because I kind of plan to spend my day. And I started that way this morning. I went to bed that way because that's what my brain does when I just, when I need to relax, when I need to just be me and get down to who I really am and what I love and what I like without anybody, my whole world just disappears. My whole world just, rain falls away when I'm, drawing or when I'm painting. So I so encourage you guys to do that. And hopefully we'll be getting back together soon, but you just never know. We might continue doing this because it's now getting to be kind of fun. So you never know. Who would have thought we may be YouTube superstars before this is all over? But we are the dynamic Donna duo, and we'll see what we can come up with.
To our clients.
So we are thinking about y'all. We're praying for everybody, and we're praying for your little creative hearts. And see ya.
Bye.
Bye.